Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investor. My name is Sensei and welcome to this important live stream this morning about XRP, Ripple, and Brad Garlinghouse heading to Washington. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Welcome
I
to
apologize for
Martyn
the
Lucas
technical issues. Let me
Investor.
turn
My
that
name
off. There we go. You can hear me again. Sometimes you need to reset the studio, and that's what's happened today. So let's get straight into it. We've got the news for you. Tomorrow is going to be a massive day, and we need to get prepared today. Live, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse is going to be on our screens answering questions from the Senate. So let me bring to you what we know so far. Uh, Before we do so, please do hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't done so before. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse to testify before Senate on crypto regulation. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse will testify before the US Senate Banking Committee on Wednesday, July the 9th at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time in a landmark hearing titled From Wall Street to Web3 Building Tomorrow's Digital Asset Markets. We are going to be covering that live on the show. I imagine I will be covering that, or I'll be doing that alongside Martyn, or Martyn will be covering it. Either way, it's going to be live on the show. It's about an hour after the opening bell show, if I'm correct in saying, or it's a couple hours after. But 10:15 Eastern Time is when that is going to start. Probably we'll start tuning in around 10 a.m. Eastern Time. But this is very, very, very big news. Um, and it's held in the district Dirksen Senate Office Building 538. The session will be live streamed and features testimony from some of the crypto industry's most influential players. Alongside Garlinghouse, key witnesses include chain analyst CEO Jonathan Levin, Blockchain Association CEO Summer Mersinger, Parad Drim General Partner Dan Robinson and former CFTC Chair Tim Massad. Just making sure this is running okay. Yeah, we are live. So their combined goal is push for unified digital asset framework in the US. Here is Brad Garlinghouse's tweet from yesterday. I am honored to be invited to testify in front of Senate Banking Committee this Wednesday on need for passing crypto market structure legislation. Thank you, Banking GOP Chairman Senator Tim Scott, Senator Lumez, and Senator Ruben Galileo as leaders of Subcommittee for Digital Assets. Your leadership, both with this hearing and over the years, in championing the crypto industry has been critical to getting us to this important moment. Even Brad Garlinghouse himself is saying this is going to be a pivotal, important moment. So, constructive crypto market structure legislation in US is imperative in bringing about a new era of innovation and financial opportunity while protecting consumers. This hearing comes at a pivotal moment. Congress is considering three bills with major implications for crypto: the Clarity Act, the Anti CBDC Surveillance State Act, and the Genius Act. Before I go any further, I'm going to ask everyone to please hit the like button. We will come onto the XRP chart as well. I will be looking at your comments in just a second as well. But XRP yesterday really tried to break out of $2.30. It was looking very, very good. But what happened? Well, the tariff news came out, and we'll be covering the tariff news in a second because it does have an impact on XRP. Just like today and tomorrow, we're going to see volatility because of Brad Garlinghouse heading to Washington. Yesterday, we saw XRP break out $2.30, head all the way to $2.35, get rejected. Tariff news came out. However, it is still showing strength. Upwards trend is intact. The long-term upwards trend is intact. The upwards trend since $2 is intact. It does look like we're having another go at $2.30 as we speak. If that breaks out again, the next main target for me is $2.62. If we do find $2.30 as resistance and we don't break out and we break this upwards trend line, $2 is back in play. Let's see if it's going to be a buy the rumor today and sell the news tomorrow. There'll definitely be volatility tomorrow. Let me get your thoughts and opinions. We do have a poll running right now. What's first for XRP since Brad is heading to Washington? $2 says 29% of you. $2.62 says 70%. Let's see what happens. Good morning to Matthew. Matthew Baron Squee. Wow, just hooked up to Discord and got hit with a ton of fake accounts for both Martyn and Sensei. Matthew, we do have security features. Martyn every single day goes in and puts a 24-hour block on that. So I apologize you've seen that. The main thing to remember is we never message you. We do not message you unless we have friend requests with you from beforehand. So just ignore that because we don't send out friend requests. You send it to us. You can see on Discord which one's the owner and which one is an admin. Which one's an admin. The main thing to do is just be very careful. If you go on Discord, we're not going to message you. We're not going to be asking you to move money around, put money in this, put money in that. We do not message you on Discord. We do not message you anywhere else at all. If anyone's asking you to do weird things, that's wrong. If you get bombarded by friend requests, do not accept them. They're not us. We've just got a message from Martyn. I've just sold 30,000 of my S&P 500 using tax locks. Reasons: uncertainty, not enough left in the market this year. Carry trade looks likely, plus earn 4% on cash, ready to buy back lower. There we go. That is an update straight from Martyn. He will be live in about half an hour's and about 40 minutes time. Is that right? 50, yeah, in about 40 minutes time Martyn will be live, and he'll be explaining that all to you. But he has just come on and updated you that he's sold 30,000 of his S&P 500. Reasons: uncertainty, not enough left in the market, and the carry trade looks likely, plus he will earn 4% on cash, ready to buy back lower. And we'll be looking at the S&P 500 in this show as well. Good morning, Matthew. I left Discord because I was immediately hit with a ton of fake accounts. Yes, be very careful. It's morning, Tuesday, July the 8th, 2025. Thank you, Songs for Space. Morning, all. XRP will go down to $1.69 before rocketing up to $4.20 in the short order. Thank you, Jerry, for your thoughts. My video is broken, it's frozen. Just refresh the stream, you'll be fine. Let's hope it's not a Brad dip. No problem. No motto team. The newsletter was out at around 12:20. It's always out before the show. It's always out before 12:30. All system. Yes, we had to do a system reset. He puts a lot into those. They are kind of unreal. He puts a lot into those. They're kind of unreal. The newsletter you're talking about moderating. Can we have a look at Aprius Tech? Yeah. If you become a member, I'll give you the membership link here. It's in the chat. If you become a member, you can do that. Sensei is the sensei of charts, not the technical issues. Yes, I can do charts, but I struggle with technical issues. Once in a while, we all do it. Once a week, something like this happens. I read the newsletter and want to change my vote on the poll to down. Jesse, I wish we could change our votes, but we can't. Once you put it in, that's it. Good morning, Martyn. Sent me. Welcome in, Dan. Everybody, remember to hit that like button for this guy's hard work for us. Thank you, Jesse. Salute. Will you also be covering? No, I won't be covering that. This is much bigger news. I just sold 30,000. That's Martyn's comment we've already gone over. No big deal. What do you think would be good for? What do you think? What do you think could be good for XRP's price from Brad today? I don't know what you quite mean by that comment. Good morning, says Lucy. Welcome in. Just let it go. The cold never bothered me anyway. Here we go. Okay, back to XRP. What we're going to do is, before I give you any more of the news and exactly my thoughts and opinions, we're going to put the music on. I want everyone to hit the like button, share this live stream out, and let's put the music on, hit the like button. Once you've hit the like button, make sure you voted on the poll. Come into the comment section and hit the like button here as well. We're going to do it for a minute and then we're going to get into the XRP chart, the XRP news, the tariff news and the Ripple Brad Garlinghouse live from um, um, the Senate. Here we go.
The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
Thank you, everyone. I'm just about to give you some more information on this news. I've just found it. I'm going to bring it to you in just a second. Hit the like button, get ready. We're going to go through all the news in literally 30 seconds. Hit the like button. Let's do it. Thank you, everyone, for doing that. Let's get straight back into it. We've got 168 people watching. Let me refresh the likes. Have we hit 100 likes? I hope we have. I trust you guys. We hit 77. It's the morning, I understand, but let's get ready because tomorrow and today are going to be big days for XRP. I was just getting some information through about some banks and XRP. I want to bring it to you, but I don't want to bring you some news that I don't have verified yet. So I'm going to hold off on it. I'm in an R-ing whether to bring it to you, but we're not like other channels. We want to bring you the real news. So I'm just going to hold off on that for a moment. But there is still plenty of other news. Right now, we've got XRP on the brink of another breakout, currently sat at $2.30. You can see the strength is back. Yesterday we broke out $2.30. Remember, I said there'll be volatility for breakout, probably a surge towards the upside. Next target is realistically $2.50, $2.62. However, The global market sold off. The S&P 500 came down 1%. The tariffs are back, and they're back hard and fast. So depending on how that goes in the next few weeks, we don't know where the markets will go. However, XRP is showing real strength. It came back up into this upwards trend line all the way from $2, held its support, and it's trying once again as we speak $2.29 and 0.5. You've got you've got it trying to break out. Currently an indecision candle, but it's trying to break out above $2.30. A lot of volatility on this upcoming news. And just to reiterate, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse is going to testify before Senate on crypto regulation. We'll be covering it live on the show tomorrow, so get ready for that. Make sure you have subscribed as well for when that comes live. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse will testify before US Senate Banking Committee on Wednesday, July the 9th at 10:15 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to cover it live. It's going to be probably the biggest show ever, so make sure you get your seat by subscribing and hitting that bell icon. You do not want to miss that show. And if I can ask everyone to go over, I'm going to give you the link for my X post. This is something I'd love everyone to share out. If you are supporting what we're doing, and if you want us to cover this for you guys tomorrow, I don't know why I've just retweeted it. It's my own post. Let me give you the link for this. Please, if you're watching right now, it takes 1 second. Go and retweet this post. Just click on it, press retweet. It is everything about tomorrow. Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse is heading to Senate. This is a pivotal moment for XRP. So please do go like the tweet first of all, then retweet it. Every single person needs to retweet it because we will not cover the show unless we do get everyone retweeting it. I'm only kidding. Of course, we're going to cover the show, but it would be great to see your support. So please go and retweet this post that I've just put out. The link is in the live chat. So more on the news. We've got Brad's tweet. We've already gone through it. For the new people that have just joined the stream, make sure you've hit the like button. We are covering the live testimony from Brad Garlinghouse in front of the Senate Banking Committee this Wednesday. So Brad is calling this a very important moment. This important moment, I also think, is going to be important and a pivotal moment for Ripple and XRP. It's coming just days before I imagine the SEC to drop their cross appeal as well. So this hearing comes at a pivotal moment. Congress is considering 3 bills with major implications for crypto. Him coming out today is going to sway some votes, so this is good for these bills as well, which are important. Congress is considering 3 bills with major implications for crypto: the Clarity Act, the Anti-CBDC Surveillance State Act, and the Genius Act. These could finally establish federal clarity on whether digital assets are securities or commodities, which regulators oversees what and how exchanges, custodians, and brokers must register and comply. Remember, Ripple is not one of those cryptos where everyone goes, we're anti-government, anti-this, anti-this, and anti-the other. It's not really that sort of crypto. This is one that's going to be interlinked with banks. It's going to have regulation. They've always sought regulation. They don't want to go down the route of no regulation. They are still decentralized as well. But what I'm saying here is they want regulation. Throughout their whole time of its existence, they have been trying to go to the SEC and saying, are we doing this properly? Is there regulation here? And these acts are going to help them really excel in the crypto industry. Unlike other cryptos which were trying to go through dodgy routes, this one here is prepared for this. When the regulation comes out, it will thrive better than any other crypto or company in the crypto industry, in my opinion. Circle IPO, put that to bed. If Ripple IPOs, you're going to see something completely different. Again, my opinions only. For Garlinghouse, the timing is strategic. Ripple is now closing the book on its long legal fight with the SEC. A federal judge ruled that XRP is not a security when sold on public markets, though institutional sales violated federal law, resulting in a $125 million settlement. So what we've got, so it is 125. I think I corrected someone yesterday about 150. I apologize. A federal judge is Judge Torres. She came out, and the most important thing she's ever said, and now is the law of the land, and it's probably going to be closed off this week when the SEC drops their appeal, that XRP is not a security. No other cryptocurrency in this world has that clarification in the US. The only one you can probably say is Bitcoin. But apart from that, no other cryptocurrency has got the clarification that it's not a security, and XRP has got that labeled on it. In terms of these institutional sales, people are worried, well, if the institutional sales are securities, what are we going to do? Well, Ripple's either going to pay a $125 million settlement, or they're going to reduce it behind closed doors, or whatever. It doesn't matter. They pay the 125 million, but Ripple have already said that they're not selling it in that way anymore. The SEC is not going to go after Ripple anymore for secondary sales. They're going to continue to sell in a slightly different way, and the SEC is not going to go after them. So no issues there as well. So this 4 or 5 year legal battle is coming to an end probably this week, in my opinion. There's a closed door meeting on the 10th of July. So I imagine that's when they'll come out and drop the appeal. And then that will result in the only cryptocurrency in the world that's not a security. It will also result in closing the door on that chapter. Finished. They can now focus on either IPOing, their hidden row acquisition, and how they're implementing RLUSD, and that will come all after this Senate hearing with Brad Garlinghouse. Remember, this is voluntary. He's doing this because he wants to show the world how great Ripple is, how great XRP is, how great crypto is, and why these acts are good or bad. So he's going to give his thoughts, and we're going to cover it live. So Ripple has dropped its cross appeal, and the SEC is expected to do the same, ending the case with a permanent injunction on institutional activity. In a public statement, Garlinghouse thanked Senate leaders for the invitation and emphasized the need for constructive regulation that fosters innovation, protects consumers, and keeps American companies globally competitive. He's expected to draw on Ripple's decade of experience navigating US regulatory ambiguity since 2013. For XRP investors, the stakes are high. Clear legislative rules could reduce regulatory risk, increase institutional adoption, and expand capital flows. Clear legislative rules can reduce regulatory risk, increase institutional adoption. We know that's coming already, but it's going to increase it and expand capital flows. The market is already reacting. XRP spiked to $2.35 in the days leading up to the hearing, a clear signal that investors are watching, and they will be watching tomorrow, as we will be watching together tomorrow as well, live on the channel. So what to watch? Will Garlinghouse advocate specific digital asset clarifications or focus on principles? Are lawmakers open to industry input or leaning towards tighter oversight? Do we get timelines on when crypto bills like Clarity and Genius may advance? Bottom line, this hearing is more than symbolic, it's policy setting. With the legal fog lifting and legislation in motion, the US crypto market could be entering a new era. But how Garlinghouse frames the future and how senators respond will shape stakes for Ripple, XRP, and the broader blockchain economy. Garlinghouse's Senate testimony marks a turning point. With the SEC case fading and Congress eyeing crypto laws, we could finally see regulators' clarity unlock serious capital inflows. If lawmakers deliver structure, XRP and compliant projects benefit. If not, uncertainty lingers and so does volatility. Eyes on Washington. This one's bigger than Ripple themselves. This is going to be a massive event, and as we're speaking, XRP is trying to break out of $2.30, finding it as resistance again, but we are going to see if this breakout occurs today on the build up for tomorrow. See how many reposts did we get? I'm going to refresh this. Hopefully we've got 10. Only one. This is I might not even do the event anymore. Let me give you the link here again. This is the X. This is my X account, and this is the X thread on this specific issue. If you are an XRP holder, if you do support the show, please hit that link there. That will take you to this post, and just hit the retweet and make sure you like it as well. I'm going to put the music on, and I'm going to wait until we get 5 retweets before we move any further. Let me put the music on.
The year is 1991.
I'll show you the chart, my thoughts in a second. Make sure you hit the like button, make sure you click on that link, and let's get the retweets up on this X post.
This is Phoenix.
The link is in the chat. If you use X, retweet, and let's move on with the charts for XRP.
Spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Make sure you've hit the like button on the stream as well. We're about to get into the charts for XRP.
You know that they're just looking for attention. Don't let the ruthlessness prevail. Oh, it's time now, light your fires for ascension. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn a thirst and desire. You transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire, burn a thirst and desire.
Thank you everyone for doing that. The new version of X is awesome. I haven't seen the new version. I didn't realize there's a new version. They've added a lot of features. Thank you very much. I was number 5, retweet 2. Yes, thank you very much, Marco Jagger. I'll give you the link one more time if you haven't done it already. Oh no, I didn't mean to do that. Thank God nothing came up. Here we go. There it is. Okay, so the chart for XRP. We're going to go live to Martyn in about 15 minutes. Keep getting confused. Yeah, about 15 minutes time. So I'm sure he has his views on this. He's probably been speaking to banks as well. We'll get the link for that shortly. He's just done a massive $30,000 trade as well. So stay with us to get more information on that. So it's hard to say what to do. I'm not here to give financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. This are my thoughts and opinions only. Please do not follow my trades. Please do not buy or sell based on anything I'm saying. What I've personally done, yesterday you saw it live on the show, the tariff news came out, we're around $2.30, just broke $2.30 yesterday, around $2.29, and I sold most of my leverage positions on XRP. Remember, when was the last time I bought XRP? When it on leverage, when it went down to the $2 range. The reason I did that was quite similar to Martyn, who's just come out and said he's sold some of his position. There's a bit more uncertainty around now. If you go and look at the newsletter from today, the deeper dive is all about the tariff flash. US blitz expands as volatility rises. There's so much confusion right now about the tariffs, who's getting what, who's getting this, what the letters mean. I've broken down as much as I can in this deep dive. We've already got Japan 25, South Korea 25, Malaysia 25, Kazakhstan 25, Tunisia 25, South Africa 30, Bosnia and Herzegovina 30, Indonesia 32, Bangladesh 35, Serbia 35, Cambodia 36, Thailand 36, Laos 40, and Myanmar is 40%. We know what are in those letters, but it's all a bit confusing, and it seems to all be coming back. And there's a deadline, I think, in a day for the EU to accept that 10% deal. But I don't think that they want to, because they don't like the offer that the US has put out. So there's a lot of uncertainty once again with tariffs. And we need to remember where we were when we had the previous uncertainty on tariffs, and we were down for XRP. We were down about to break with significant volume the $2 mark. With the S&P 500, we were down a lot further as well. And if we get the same thing occur, the same tariffs come back, or similar tariffs come back, we can have another significant drop. We were about another 20% down from these levels, so that's always a risk. That's why I'm de-risking on leverage positions. My spot bag is still 100% there. I haven't sold anything there, but I'm only de-risking not because I don't think tomorrow will be a good day, or today will be a good day. It's just that tariff risk is back in the markets. But my genuine thoughts are, if we get a scenario, and it's in the newsletter over here. If we get one of these scenarios, where have I put it? If we get one of these best case scenarios, or the middle path, and the best case is a flurry of mini deals keeps most partners at 10%, market stabilised by mid-August, or the middle path, some economies get 20 to 30%, and others Sectoral carve-outs proliferate and global growth absorbs most of the drag. No big issues, earnings are all fine. Then I think those two options are fine. But I'm preparing for, and I'm not saying this is the scenario that's most likely, but I'm preparing for some negotiations to fail. For example, the EU, Canada, India, for example, tariffs to snap back to April's upper bound up to 50%. We've seen a lot of tariffs close to that level already back in those letters, and then BRICS nations, which have that additional 10% now, if they start retaliating, which there's been some hints that they might do, and if we see global trade volumes contract significantly, earnings go badly, then that's when we start pricing in for another 20-25% crash. So that's what I'm preparing for. Probably not the most likely scenario. These two are probably a mix of the best case and the middle path is probably the most likely scenario, which might just result in a 2, 3, 4% dip, and that won't really affect XRP. But I am preparing for the worst case scenario, as I always do, prepare for the upside, the downside, and the sideways action. I expect XRP, if nothing big comes out today, bad news wise, is XRP to pump. I expect it to be more like a buy the rumor, sell the news. Everyone's getting excited now about Brad Garlinghouse going to the Senate, so I'm potentially a buy the rumor. So we might see another break of $2.30 today, a big surge up, and then tomorrow there'll be a lot of volatility depending on what Brad Garlinghouse says. If he says something particularly bullish, Ripple's IPOing or this, that, and the other, then we might see XRP continue to go up. But if it's just a general hearing with nothing specific about Ripple or XRP being said, then we might see a sell the news event where we break wherever we are. If we're above $2.40, we might break down back to $2.30, or if we're below $2.30, then potentially breaking this uptrend, coming back down to levels like $2.20, or start the reversal all the way back to $2 is always a possibility. Right now, I'm a little bit more bullish than bearish for today and tomorrow. I would just say be prepared for volatility. If you're below $2.30 and below this trend line, prepare for further downside. If you're above $2.30 and above this upwards moving trend line, then the trend is certainly up to $2.50 and $2.60. So I'm ready for today to be a bullish day for XRP. If nothing good comes out, we've currently got XRP getting close to $2.30 once again. That's my views on the chart, but we also need to look at this tariff because it all sorts. We saw XRP break out yesterday to over $2.30, $2.35, but it all got wiped away because of tariffs. So we need to understand if that's going to happen again. So tariffs flash. Here we go. The latest US tariff blitz expands, market volatility rises. The White House escalated its reciprocal tariff campaign, sending formal letters to 14 countries and resetting the enforcement countdown to August the 1st. The move, which followed 3 months of relative calm, has triggered renewed risk-off sentiment across global markets as investors digest the breadth and depth of the new trade measures. Key announcements and updates: expanded country list and rates. 14 countries have now been have now received explicit tariff letters, up from 7 in the initial wave. The new list includes both major trading partners and smaller economies with rates ranging from 25 to 40%. Japan has been hit with 25. South Korea has been hit with 25. Malaysia has been hit with 25. Pretty big partners there. Japan is massive. South Korea is pretty big. Malaysia is pretty big. It's Kazakhstan 25%. Tunisia 25%. South Africa is fairly big, 30%. Bosnia is 30%. Indonesia is fairly big at 32%. Bangladesh is pretty big at 35%. Serbia 35%. Cambodia 36%. Thailand 36%. Laos 40%. And Myanmar 40%. So you can see how high they're getting as well in these new tariffs. We were expecting to be much lower. A default baseline tariff rate, reportedly near 10%, remains in place for roughly 100 countries absent a deal. So you've got that base 10% on top of whatever else they're going to put. That seems to still be the case. Policy mechanics. We've got retaliation clause. Any counter tariff by a partner will be added on top of the US rate, creating a tit for tat escalator. That is something that's new. Well, new in the sense that it's sort of in writing. You add a tariff to the US, you'll be hit back with that exact same tariff. That is literally putting a trade war clause in a letter, literally saying, "Bring it on, trade war." If you want to, it's literally automatic trade war. No one's even saying anything. As soon as they do it, there's the trade war starts. So that's the sort of thing that will bring a lot of fear in the market and a sell-off. And that's what I'm talking about. Thank you for everyone else who's just tuned in. Please do hit the like button. We are talking about Brad Garlinghouse going to testify. Please do go and repost this tweet if you haven't done so already. I'll give you the link. I'll get back onto the news of the Ripple Brad Garlinghouse going to the US Senate. But what I'm covering right now is what's important for XRP's price action while it's trying to break $2.30, which is the fact that tariffs are the one is the thing that brought XRP down from $2.35 all the way down to $2.25 when it tried to break out yesterday. So we have to keep an understanding of what's going on in the broader markets so that we can understand what's going to happen with XRP. The BRICS clause, a new additional clause. We've got an extra 10% levy is threatened for any nation aligning with anti-American BRICS policies, raising the risk for countries with shifting geopolitical ties. So there we go, another new one. And this BRICS clause is going to cause a lot of anger with the BRICS nations. It's not only 5 nations, I think there's 30 nations. It's about 45% of the world's GDP, about 50%, over 50% of the world's population. And if there's an extra 10% for all those nations, then that's when you can get the retaliation occur. They might retaliate as a whole, and if someone like the BRICS, if they all retaliate together, that's when the global markets will be in complete fear. That's when Donald Trump knows he would have taken it too far with tariffs, and if enough of the world. And I'm not saying this is something that should happen. I'm just saying if then enough of the countries in the world fight back, then the tariffs will not work because the US will be the one that suffers the most if a lot of countries do it at the same time. And that's a fear, that's a worst sort of a bad scenario for the markets. But there is a made in the USA incentive. Companies relocating production to US are promised streamlined regulatory clearances, which is good for industries that might want to go to US. There's a lot of industries that won't benefit from being in the US. The negotiation window. The effective date for all new tariffs is now August the 1st, extended from July the 9th, giving partners a 3-week window to negotiate bespoke deals. And that's the new date. Again, the taco trade is back. The market reaction. Equities. The S&P 500 fell 0.8%. Let me just check if I've got any. Nope, nothing there. The S&P 500 fell 0.8% from the initial news, and the Dow and Nasdaq also posting declines. That is what you see what happened here on yesterday's price action. You broke $2.30. We were very bullish. The news was great, and then tariffs came and ruined the news. And that's when you had the S&P 500 come down 1%. You also had XRP fall around 5%. So you can see that was a big fall. If you had the 5% go in the opposite direction, we would have already been about $2.50. So that's why I'm covering the tariff news right now. If you are live with us, please do hit the like button, subscribe. Remember, we are going to be covering this Senate hearing live on the show, so make sure you have just subscribed and hit the bell icon. Let me go to your comments before we cover this anymore. Got to say though, XRP is holding up a lot stronger considering everything going on at the minute. Yeah, XRP is holding. XRP is always very volatile when you get bad news. If you get the markets go down 1%, you probably get XRP go down 5%, just like you just saw there. But it's coming back. It's coming back hard and fast, and it's trying to break $2.30 once again. My portfolio has just popped to a new time high, even with tariff fears flaring. Vietnam and South Korean markets both climbed 2% today despite the noise. Thank you, Tommy Tinkler, for that news as well. There's going to be a volatile few weeks in the market. It's going to be an important few weeks in the market as well. This was going to tell us if we're continuing the bull market or if we're going for a crash. Since I'm sure the lack of people participating in the retweets are other things you asked. Since I'm sure the lack of people participating in the retweets and the other things you asked has to be discouraging. But remember, the show is going to be huge in the future. The show right now, I believe, going to be very small compared to the future self. I see other channels and they are nothing like you guys. Facts. David Hensley, thank you so much. Yes, it's sometimes annoying we put all this effort in. But we know, I mean, David Hensley, you've been here for over a year. You know what the shows were like over a year ago, 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago. They were nothing like they are today. So we will continue to grow, but we won't sell ourselves out. We will not be paid to say anything. We will not sell ourselves out like a lot of other channels do. So I appreciate the kind words, David Hensley. Sensei, do you believe after this altcoin season and XRP's run, it will drop back down to 2021 high during the crypto winter? Yeah, probably, Ron. That's my thoughts. Is Martyn shaking again and can't drink his tea? Only kidding, Martyn, says Jesse. Peter says, song gets me pretty hyped, pumped for Martyn. Yes, Martyn is going to be live in about a couple minutes' time, so get ready for that. He is always very entertaining. We love it. Are you expecting the price to go up or down? We already answered that question. Brad's testifying in Senate isn't good. Well, he doesn't have to. He's choosing to do it. So hopefully it's a good thing. We'll definitely see volatility. I'm prepared for a bull or bear market. However, I wouldn't mind a bear market so I can position myself better. What time is the Brad meeting, please? It's at 10 a.m. Eastern time tomorrow. We've got a link from Martyn. Let's see what the big bill. We've got something. The big beautiful bill. I think we've got a premiere, not a live. Oh, we've got Martyn calling in. He's going to answer the question live on the show. Let me bring Martyn onto the show. Let me bring him here and then hi Martyn, welcome to the morning forecast.
Good morning, Sensei. Thank you for having me on. You're doing a great show this morning. This morning, slightly different. First of all, did you see in the post I posted in your chat that I'd sold $30,000 of the S&P? Did you see that? What was your thoughts to that?
I think I've done the same thing. I de-risked myself, took some margin out just because we don't know where the markets are going right now. The volatility seems to be coming back in, and there is a lot of fear on these tariffs, and the next few weeks will be pivotal in my opinion.
Okay, that was partly the reason why I did it, but I remember I am now fully out of margin. I am still fully invested. All I've done is trimmed from the top, using tax lots. I've now got $33,000 in cash, earning 4%. We're not going to have 4% for much longer. It's going to start to fall, but right now it's 4%. I don't see 4% in the market from where we are. Plus, we've got the real issue of the carry trade unwind now. That's steepening. Japan, more pressure to raise interest rates. If they do, the markets can drop 20, 30% within days. I want to be prepared for that. So I'm still 99% in. I've got $250,000 on my portfolio, still all in, but I've just got 33 grand now. I've trimmed from the top. I had 3 grand yesterday. I've now got 33,000 because I think that there's not 4% left. I can make more on uninvested cash. Plus, I now have cash like margin. My cash can behave like margin. It can buy bigger dips if we get them. And I think the chance of them are very likely. Bank of America, who's always a strong connection for me, has also hinted that there's nothing left in the S&P this year, more volatility. So this morning, I'm going to cover that on the show. I'm going to go live at 8 p.m., which is on the hour, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern time. That's 2 p.m. UK. I'm going to go live on the hour, but not to leave you wanting. We have 2 very important videos from Vaz coming out this morning. Sensei, if you could take me full screen just for a moment. I think you were just sharing it a second ago. This event here, this is going to follow Sensei. As soon as Sensei goes when he's worked out how to press the buttons. Do you not have these scenes saved, Sensei? What's going on here? Where am I? There you go. So so this is let me switch over to here. This is what we've got coming up in a minute. The big bill. Vaz has now got a story which brings the big, beautiful bill into EV tolls, the new emerging sector. So it's not just Vaz, you'd think like, is he making a video cashing in on the trending term of the big, beautiful bill? No, it actually is relative to his story. It's partly to do with the EV tolls and air traffic control centers. So real opportunity here to invest in the EVTOL sector. Straight after this, Vaz has another breaking story. So there's 2 back-to-back videos. Each one will take you to the next one, and then I'll be back. You can bring me back with you again, Sensei. Now I will be live at 8 o'clock with the carry trade, the Bank of America information, and of course building up that XRP news, because XRP is holding up when other things are looking a bit wobbly, and I'm not really worried if we have the carry unwind about XRP. Thank you, Sensei. You're doing a great job. I'll hand it back to you. So we'll send you all over after this. The premiere starts at 35 minutes past, so you've got 7 minutes. If you can send everybody there, that one will take everyone to the next one. Very important stuff, and then that will take you to the live when I'm live on the hour for the further deep dive on all of this stuff and why I've just sold $30,000 the S&P. Sensei, great job. Back to you.
Thank you, Martyn, for calling in. We are all excited to see what Vaz is going to be saying in about 5 minutes' time. So we'll be sending you all there, and then Martyn will be live shortly after that premiere ends. So a lot in store for you guys today. And as we were speaking, XRP was trying once again to break out of $2.30. That is the expectation for today, is to see if we get a breakout once again like we saw yesterday, but hopefully not being sold off with hopefully a lack of tariff news today to help propel XRP higher before Brad Garlinghouse speaks live to the Senate later on tomorrow, where we'll be covering it live on the show. We are preparing for that. Again, it might be a buy the rumor, sell the news. $2.30 could break today. We could have quite a significant pump potentially. Again, not financial advice, but there could be a pump if we break $2.30 and no tariff news comes out or no bad news comes out. We can have a relief rally. XRP heads to maybe $2.50, and then potentially a volatile day tomorrow when we'll be watching the trades together. And XRP will be seeing a lot of volatility and maybe a sell-off with the sell the news portion of this. What's going on? Once again, if you have just tuned in, please do go and repost this X post about what we're doing tomorrow and what the news is on Brad Garlinghouse going live to the US Senate. If you haven't subscribed to our newsletter either, that is where all the information was this morning. It's that all the information's there every single morning. There is the link for the newsletter every single morning. Let me go to your comments and let's end the show so we can go and get ready for the premiere. Ducks have bills. It's hilarious, Donald Ducks. A $250,000 investor, 33,000 cash. You were at 450, sold half, and had 200,000 something cash. I missed something. Where did the other cash go? It's not cash. If you had 450,000 invested, it would have been margin invested as well. That's how much he had invested in the markets. Margin works in the sense that you don't have the money, but it's invested. I'm sure Martyn can explain that to you again, Jesse, but that's what is going on there. Remember, everything's live on the show. You can see all the numbers. He explains it all the time. Yes, I saw that post. Okay, so let me give you the link for the where we're going now. Here is the link. This is the premiere, and then straight after this, Martyn is going to be speaking more about X. Math just wasn't matching. It doesn't. Oh, perfect, Jesse. Understand. JJ, I think. Yeah, thousands margin. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. This is where we're going now. Here is the link. Click on that. Go on to that premiere. It is a video that is premiering, so go watch it, and then that video will take you straight over to it, and Martyn, who will give you some more news from the banks, XRP, tariffs, and the carry trade, and why he sold 30,000. There is a link. Click on that. I'll be back later tomorrow to cover that Brad Garlinghouse Senate hearing. That will be a great show, so join me there tomorrow. Make sure you subscribe, make sure you've hit the like button. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. Bye bye.